this age and times comes great ideas, sweet memories,
new techniques,
untold stories about Africa and the world at large. Guess what? The new age brings on board a brand name in broadcasting technology.
Introducing Age Television. At Age Television, we serve you with professionalism
in news and event coverage,
live streaming, documentaries,
artist management,
video and photography,
social media management, and lots more.
For inquiries, call us on +27 061 773 9628
or 027 064 543 0136.
You can also send us WhatsApp messages on 078 229 4593.
YouTube HTV/Durban. Tweet us at HTV Durban.
Facebook at HTV Durban.
Instagram at HTV.Durban.
Email us at htvdurban@gmail.com.
Visit our website on www.htv.co.za. Age Television, celebrating the uncelebrated. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Akpan'S Diary, where we discuss issues, politics as it affects people and society. And today we'll have a very topical issue that will be much more insightful for the students that live in South Africa and obviously the students that live in Nigeria, particularly because of the ANSU strike that is going on. So I'm sure that students in Nigeria would like to also follow this conversation so that they can make a comparative analysis of the academic environment in South Africa and that of Nigeria. My name is Dr. James Akpan, and like I said, this is Akpan'S Diary on HTV. So today we'll be looking at Nigerian students in South Africa, the opportunities, the challenges, and the survival mechanism. It's one thing for you to study outside your country, to study outside Nigeria. Is another thing for you to be able to adapt to the culture and other socioeconomic environments in South Africa, and to be able to still navigate and come out with your good grades. And we need to quickly add there that Nigerian students have done very well in South Africa, but not without challenges. So those are the kind of challenges we want to discuss and to look at the best way to make progress if you are new or if you are thinking of coming to South Africa. And to discuss this issue, we have Professor Sylvester Chima, who is a professor in the health sciences department, or faculty as it were, college as it were, in the University of Kwazulu, Natal in Durban. He's a Nigerian and very distinguished professor. I'll give him the honor of speaking about himself. He'll be giving us an insight from a lecturer perspective on the kind of issues and challenges that Nigerian students face, both in academics and also outside academics. And we also have ABDUL RAZAK ABDULRAHMAN ABUBAKAR, who is the president of the Nigerian Student Association in South Africa. I'll just follow the policy of allowing them also to speak about themselves before we go into the main issue. And then finally, we also have the student president of University of Kwazulu Natal in Durban, one of the largest universities in South Africa. Her name is Abisoye Adedoyin Adeyiga. If I murdered your name, please forgive me. I was trying to get the lettering right. So I'll just quickly allow all of you to speak a bit about yourself so that the viewers will have the profile of the people that are going to discuss this very topical issue. Permit me to start with Professor Sylvester Chima. Prof, please, you can just tell us a little bit of yourself so that we can meet you.
Thank you for inviting me, Akpan. My name is Prof. Chima, Sylvester Chima. I'm a professor of medical law and bioethics at the College of Health Sciences, University of Kwazulu Natal. My job here is to teach medical students. I've been here for almost 15 years as in South Africa. Prior to being in South Africa, I was lecturing I studied in the US and taught in the US. I also studied in England and also lectured American medical students in the Caribbean islands. I came to South Africa from the Caribbean, and since I've been here, I've been involved in teaching medical students, postgraduate scholars. Currently, I supervise PhD and master's students in the area of bioethics and public health. That's what I do.
Thank you, Prof. Quite a very rich CV. I'll be speaking with you after the program also. I'm interested in some of the line of lectures. But let us quickly talk to the president of the Nigerian students in South Africa, Mr. Abubakar.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here. My name is ABDUL RAZAK ABDULRAHMAN ABUBAKar, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, and I'm a Master of Financial Engineering candidate at the University of Johannesburg.
All right, okay.
Thank
and Ms. Abisoye, if we can meet you.
All right, good evening, and thank you for having me. My name is Adeyiga Abisoye Adedoyin. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Kwazulu, Natal, studying English language education. And I'm also the president of the Association of Nigerian Students in UKZN, which is University of Kwazulu, Natal. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Kwazulu Natal is in Durban, I suppose.
Of course.
No, Durban is in KwaZulu Natal.
Oh, Durban is in University of KwaZulu Natal is in Durban, yes. And Durban is in KwaZulu Natal.
Yes, the university has 4 campuses, one in Pietermaritzburg, one in Durban, and I think 3 campuses in Durban and one in Pietermaritzburg. So
Durban has the Howard College, the medical school, and also Westville.
Okay. Westville
and Edgewood.
Edgewood, the Pine Town. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Razak, before you are left out of the conversation of University of KwaZulu Natal, let's quickly come to you, because you are the president of all the presidents president of all the university Nigerians that are all the universities in South Africa. So give us a sense of how to get an admission to study in a South African university, either for honors, for masters, or for PhD. Bearing the fact that a lot of viewers are also might be interested in coming to study in South Africa as an alternative to Canada, USA, and the UK and Australia also. So what is the process like?
Thank you, Dr. James Akpan. Firstly, every university has a channel in which international students can apply. So once you're accepted as a student who wants to study in South Africa, then you can start or proceed with the process of applying for the visa. So I think it just start with the willingness to apply, going to the portals and apply. Once you're accepted, then you take it a step further. There's always a channel for all institutions in South Africa through which an international student can apply to study in South Africa. That's the first step.
Okay, so give us an idea of what are the expectations? There are several universities in South Africa spread across the 9 provinces. Are the processes the same with every university? And also, what kind of cost of living exists around the university cities? Is it the cost of living in Durban? Is it the same thing with Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, Bloemfontein, and all that? Do you want to give us a sense of what kind of budget, initial budget at least, that the students should be looking at?
Okay, I think that varies according to the income of an household. So if you need to have enough for your school fees, accommodation, or living expense. But this also depends on the city you live in, because some are more expensive, such as Cape Town, Johannesburg. So this is why it's important to seek funding or scholarship where your loved ones or your family cannot support you. So you seek for scholarship and just seek for information before you apply. It is very important to do your research before proceeding or trying to apply for university or to study in South Africa. So it's like you just have to know your standard of living, the cost of what you can afford, or the city or location where you choose to apply. You have to do some thorough research about that. So it's not something fixed. You can say, is how much you have to prepare to study in this place or this place.
Do you want to
so
hazard a guess, put some figures around it?
Sorry?
Do you want to put a figure also around it? Do you want to guess?
There's no, I can't put a specific figure because household income varies and standard of living of individuals also vary. So my standard of living might be different from your standard of living and my preferences. So if I'm a person who can afford to live in Cape Town or live in Sandton while studying in South Africa, the other person might just be able to afford to stay in KwaZulu Natal. So it varies. You just have to do with information. You have to seek thorough information before you proceed with application or want to apply or study in an international country.
Okay, Bisoye, let me come to you. You are currently a student, like you said, you are a doctoral student in the University of KwaZulu Natal.
Yes,
based on what Mr. Abubakar just said, give us your own personal experience. What kind of research did you make? Did you make research on the schools and also in the cities and all that? Just give us a sense of a comprehensive process that you undertook before you were able to get an admission and how you got the admission, how you came to South Africa, and then your experience so far. I trust you live in Durban, since you are in UKZN. So can you give us a sense of all that?
Okay, it's a very long discussion, but I'll make it as brief as possible. Yeah, okay, the first thing I did was to make research about University of KwaZulu Natal because it is one of the best schools in South Africa. So I was so much interested in the school. So
how did you find about the school? How did you know about the school?
Okay, one of my secondary school teachers told me about the school.
Okay.
He actually graduated from University of, I think, Zululand. Okay. So he called and was like, are you interested in studying in South Africa? I was like, no. Then he said, try University of KwaZulu Natal. The school is good. Then it sent me some contacts and they are actually they were in South Africa as of that time. So I placed the call through to them and they told me so much about the school and they told me the processes, like how to go about it. And the first thing they said was, get all your certificates. At that time, ANSU was on strike. I had to go to University of Abuja.
What is ANSU? For the benefit of the international audience, you will need to explain what ANSU is.
Association of I think senior staff of universities in Nigeria.
So you're talking of university lecturers, the association?
Yeah, university lecturers.
Okay.
Yes, the association. Right. So ANSU was on strike, but the non-academic staff weren't on strike. It gave me the privilege to go to school to get my certificates. So I got all my certificates ready and I sent them out for SAQA evaluation. That was the first
Again,
step.
What is SAQA?
So South Africa,
I mean, not explain the whole acronym, but what do they do?
The acronyms, right? I think South African Qualification Authority. Okay, that means I'm right. Okay, so that was the first step. Then afterward, I went on the university sites to check out all the lecturers in my faculty, the department or the School of Education and language, of course, language education. So I checked them out and I sent them messages, emails about if they are interested in supervising me. I sent them my topic and my proposal. That was the first step, aside SAQA. Then my current supervisor was the first to reply to my email. And she said she'll be interested in supervising me because she likes my topic. And that was how the process started. And immediately after she responded to the email, she said, you can start your application. Go straight to the university's website and apply. And while applying, in your letter of interest or intent or what have you, states there that I am your supervisor. And that was how the process started.
Okay, until eventually you got admission and
I eventually got the admission and I came here.
Okay, let me quickly go back to Mr. Razak Abubakar. I've heard of complaints from students that when either they came as master's students and they're trying to move from master's to PhD, or while they're still on their PhD program, their existing study permit expires and all that, that they have a lot of challenges in renewing their study permit on one hand, and also they have a whole lot of challenges in renewing their passports, so international passports. So what kind of, what is your program as the president of the Generality of the Nigerian Association CF for Students? What kind of programs do you have to ensure that the students will not face this kind of challenges so that they are not distracted from the studies?
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, the issue of study permits has to do with the South African authorities, which is the Department of Home Affairs. But just the way you received this complaint also, it has also come to our desk. And I can really assure you that the Nigerian High Commission has taken this up because they are the ones that have the diplomatic relationship with the South African authorities. So as a matter of fact, they requested I send them the list of all Nigerian students who have applied or who are changing from one visa category to the other. So, I have done that. And I really appreciate their swift response because they got back to us with the list of those visas that has been approved. So what I would say to those students who are waiting their visa renewal, more patient, because the Nigerian government has also taken this upon themselves to ensure that all Nigerian students in South Africa, none of them become illegal in the process of them applying for it, in the course of them studying in the Republic of South Africa. With the issue of passport renewal, which takes us to the Consulate General, which is in charge of the welfare of Nigerians at large in South Africa. The issue is an administrative issue. These are the challenges Nigerians in general are facing. But the new Consul General, Mr. Andrew Ede, when it comes to Nigerian students, there's a platform of which that if you are a student, once you apply to renew your passport, there's an umbrella that is given to Nigerian students, except there's no booklet at the consulate. That is when you're not going to get your passport within the time frame you are supposed to get it. But if there's booklet, as far you are a Nigerian student in South Africa, you will not have issues with renewing your passport. But there's a clause. You have to apply 6 months before your passport expires. Due to COVID, there's a backlog at the consulate for those who apply for passport. So you have to apply 6 months before. So if you are a student and you apply within the umbrella of 6 months before expiration, there's no way you will not get your passport within time if there's booklet available, because the consulate are not the ones producing booklet, but they wait for the government to send booklet to the Republic of South Africa.
When you say the government in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, you said the new CG.
Yeah.
Are you saying therefore that the previous CG didn't have this kind of mechanism in place?
I was not the president of Nigerian students during the old administration.
Well, you must have gotten a handover note.
Sorry?
You must have received a handover note from whoever was the president then.
No, remember there was,
what kind of program did they have for Nigerian students?
Remember, there was COVID. COVID happened, which created a lot of backlogs, which is beyond the control of either the mission or the Nigerians at large. So you get it. So I took over the same time Consul Ede took over. So the previous administration, how they work with the Nigerian community, I'm not going to lie, I really do not know, but I can guarantee.
Are you saying that there was no handover note, there was no transition from the previous administration to you?
There was,
and also transition from the former CG to the new
CG? NANSSA had good working relationship with the consulate, with the both missions, and my predecessor laid a foundation for me that I stepped on, that I'm working on now. You get it? So we've been having this working relationship. Like I said, when you, right from the previous CG until now, if you are a Nigerian student, and you apply within the time frame the consulate have given you of 6 months, you will not have problems.
What is the consequence of applying outside the time frame?
Sorry?
What would be the consequence of applying outside the 6 months time frame, given the fact that at times you might be so involved in research that you do not intend to travel, and then you just suddenly discover that your passport expires in 3 months time, and then you quickly apply? Wouldn't they still attend to you? What would be the consequence of you applying if it is just 3 months or 2 months to the expiration?
Remember, passport issuance is not a privilege for a Nigerian. It's a right. It's something we are entitled to. So whether you apply 2 months or 3 months or 1 month, but the thing is, if we apply within the time frame given to us, it makes the work of the consulate easier, because there are a lot of Nigerian students in South Africa, just the way we have a lot of Nigerians in South Africa. So when we say Nigerian students, we are not talking about postgraduate students only or undergraduate students. We have Nigerian students in high schools. We have Nigerian students in primary schools. So the consulate caters for all of those people. So remember, there has to be a proper channel or a proper way so that the administration can function efficiently. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so your administration obviously focuses on just university students or higher learning students.
No, we incorporate, as far you are a Nigerian student, whether you're in high school or you are in primary school, the fact you are a Nigerian student, we cater for all of you.
Okay, how do you, where are you based as the president of the Nigerian students, president of Nigerian students?
Sorry.
Okay, what kind of structure do you have in place to relate with Nigerians that are in high school or primary school in a province like Free State, maybe in a city like Bloemfontein?
In a city like Bloemfontein. So what we usually do is we have institutional leaders. So these institutional leaders actually relate with the students and report to us. So we serve as an intermediary between the Nigerian government, which is the missions, and the Nigerian students at large. So NANSSA is doing everything possible to extend to every institution in South Africa. So this is what our administration is focusing on.
Do you also relate with the postdoctoral students?
Sorry?
Do you also attend to the postdoctoral students?
As a matter of fact, we have the majority of issues we are addressing come from the postdoc students.
What kind of issues are there?
Just the issues you've mentioned, the visa-related issues and the passport renewal, transiting from one visa status to the other.
But I understand that there isn't any study permit per se for postdoc students other than critical skill. Am I right?
Yeah, but the last time I recall, there's a research permit for postdoc students.
So you can also intervene in that direction.
Sorry?
So you can intervene for postdoctoral students also?
Yes, we intervene in that direction. But remember, when it comes to visas, this has nothing to do with the Nigerian government. Nigerian government only intercedes when there's a need for them to do so. So this is a South African authority that's in charge of issuing visas to other nationals. And if you really look at the South African Immigration Act, they said the minister or the Director General uses their discretion to issue. So if they feel that you are not worthy to get a study permit, they will deny you on that basis. But as a Nigerian student,
can the High Commission intervene in that if that kind of situation arises, if you have a legitimate case?
That leads to my point. If your case is legitimate, then you report it to the mission. Then the mission will use their diplomatic relationship to see how they can resolve it for you.
Okay. Abisoye, before I get to Prof, let me quickly ask you. You say you are the president of UKZN, the Nigerian students in UKZN. Two quick questions. One, what kind of relationship does your association, which is called ANSU, have with the students in secondary school and primary school, just like what Mr. Abubakar said? Do you have any relationship with students in the primary and secondary school? That's one. And then what kind of relationship do you have with the Nigerian lecturers in the University of Kwazulu, Natal?
Oh, that's a huge one. Okay. first question is if I have a relationship with secondary school and primary school students in UKZN, right?
Yes, in KZN, in KZN,
KZN.
Kwazulu Natal
Okay.
province.
I'm the president of the Association of Nigerian Students in the University of KwaZulu Natal. So mine, what I call it now, I'm just my duty as the president has to do with the welfare of University of KwaZulu Natal students, how they are faring, their visa and application issues, their passport issues, and every other thing that they are going through with their academics and every other thing they're going through. I'm just concerned about the students of UKZN.
What kind of working relationship do you have with the Universal Nigerian Student Body?
There is the universal body, like all in South Africa.
Like NANSSA.
Like NANSSA.
Yeah, NANSSA.
Okay. For instance, in UKZN, we have our own group. We have our own Telegram group. So that is where we talk about issues. We relate to.
My question is,
okay.
Mr. Abubakar just said that his current program is to cascade the management, or if you like, the association to secondary school and primary school level. So my question now is that you being the president of the Nigerian students in the University of KwaZulu Natal, what effort or what program based on what the umbrella body is doing have you put in place to relate with Nigerians in secondary school and primary school in KwaZulu Natal province?
For now, nothing.
Or are you aware of that program?
Yeah, I'm not really aware of the university and secondary and primary school program for the national body, but I'm aware of the fact that there is a unification that Mr. Abubakar spoke about while we held our first meeting, about the fact that he wants to unify all the universities in South Africa, like having having leaders in all universities so that they can report to the national body. But I'm not aware of the primary and the secondary aspect of the whole agenda.
So you're saying that there are some certain universities in South Africa that perhaps there are Nigerians there, but they don't have an association yet.
Yes.
Do you want to mention some of those universities?
Mr. Abubakar should.
Okay, let's talk about the relationship you have with the Nigerian lecturers in the University of KwaZulu Natal. I suppose there are. I mean, even if you do not know that Professor Chima is on the panel, what kind of relationship do you have with the Nigerian lecturers in the University of KwaZulu Natal?
For now, because we have different campuses in UKZN, and in Edgewood, for instance, I've not actually met any Nigerian lecturer. I've heard about a few of them, but there was a period that I was told about a particular lecturer, and I went to his office. I wasn't on seat. And of course, because of the fact that there was a period that all lecturers were not working from their offices; they were working from home, and so that really prevented the whole thing about getting to know most of those Nigerian lecturers in UKZN. So for now, I've not had any cordial relationship with any Nigerian lecturer in UKZN. But I was also told about—
Can you give us an idea of the population of Nigerian students in the— Professor Chima mentioned that there are about 5 campuses or so of UKZN in KwaZulu Natal province. Do you have an idea of the population of all these students?
Yes, because of recent, we got a letter from the Consul General that we should provide them with the names of all Nigerian students in South Africa. So which gave us the room to write to the school, which is University of KwaZulu Natal, to provide us with the names of all Nigerian students registered this session. And we were given I think they actually sent messages, emails to students to provide their details or to give consent as regards the provision of their names to the consulate. Some accepted while some declined. So about 190 something students, I can't really recall the figure now, accepted to provide their names or what have you to the consulates.
Okay,
while
now
some actually
you as the
declined.
president of the Nigerian students, obviously there's a thought behind the policy from the Nigerian High Commission to have all the registered students of Nigerian registered students in South African University. Now, why, as a president, don't you think that it would be necessary for you, irrespective of whatever the international office might do, for you to reach out? You did mention that you have a group, a Telegram or WhatsApp group or something like that. How do you reach out to these students so that you can have a direct communication? Because that way you can build confidence into them and say why, and explain to them why the High Commission needs that information.
We did that.
What kind of relationship, what kind of communication do you have with the other Nigerian students?
To an extent, you know how leadership can be. I know how
no, I don't.
How Nigerians, Nigerians can be at times. Even when you tell them this is what is, because even while we sent out the message to them on the group, some of them were like, why would they ask for our names? What do they want to use it for? They don't want to see the benefit attached to that. All they kept saying was why? You know how it can be. So it's
but did you bother to find out why they were resisting such a laudable project from the High Commission?
I think it has to do with past experiences.
What kind of experience?
Some of them had to get their anger based on maybe decline in visa, maybe late print out of their passports. You understand? So all these stuff just gave them that room to just say why. What do they want? They've not been helping us. Our passports expired some months ago. We haven't gotten our passports. We had gone for the capturing. They've not done anything. So why are they asking us for our names? You understand that kind of stuff? So it's like that. So they're just vetting their anger based on their past experiences. So
you're biting their noses to spite their. But anyway, I was asking this because Mr. Abubakar just talked about the kind of program that he has with the High Commission, with the Consul, where they have this idea of every Nigerian student that applies will get and all that. Because what you're saying right now is actually not in tandem with the kind of presentation he made. But however, let us move from there. How do you manage? For like what Professor Chima said, one of your campus is in Pietermaritzburg. It's quite a distance away. In fact, from what you said, you are in a campus called Pinetown, right? Edgewood in Pinetown. Edgewood in Pinetown, yeah. which is a bit maybe like 10-15 minutes drive from Durban, right?
Of course.
Now, but there is another campus in Pietermaritzburg, which is the capital of Kwazulu Natal province. Now, that's a distance. That's about an hour's drive from Durban. How do you manage the administration and the logistics of coordinating the Nigerian students that are in Pietermaritzburg? Okay,
so for instance, I'm the president and my campus is Edgewood. My vice president's campus is PMB, that's Pietermaritzburg, while the general secretary's campus is Westview campus. And Westview records like the highest number of Nigerian students. So when it comes to administration, anything that has to do with Nigerian students in Pietermaritzburg, my vice president is in charge because he knows that he's one of the students there. So anybody that has any issue and they know that he's the vice president, they go to him and they discuss issues with him. Anything that has to do with Westview and medical school, which is very close to Westview campus, they meet with the secretary. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately for me, like to an extent, to the best of my knowledge, I'm like the only international students or Nigerian students on Edgewood campus. So
say that again. You are the only Nigerian in Edgewood
like
campus?
To the best of my knowledge, because I actually my predecessor had that notion because I think he met some people, but I think they've gone back to the country. So last month, I asked the international student officer in charge of Westview at Edgewood, and she affirmed to me that I'm the only Nigerian student in South Africa presently studying
Edgewood campus.
In Edgewood campus.
I probably know 2 or 3 more.
You can imagine, but maybe my international student officer does not know. But Dr. Eric said that there are like 2 or 3 people, but I've not met them. You can imagine, because of late, I even sent messages to, because from the list the school gave us, we're able to get some studying on this in some campuses. So we know the people.
Okay, let me ask you.
Studying in Edgewood, in Westview.
Let me ask you, what is your administration programs for the Nigerian students, and how do you implement this program if you don't even know some of them?
Okay, one of the issues that since I came into office, one of the huge
when you say
issues,
since you came into office, the same question I asked Mr. Abubakar, wasn't there any handover note? Was there no transition?
Okay, since I came, let me just say this. One of the issues that that students, especially in UKZN face, is the issue of passports issuance and of course visa. So what we've been doing is to liaise with NANSSA, which is our national body, and of course because of the privilege, let me just put it in quotes, that the Consul General gave to Nigerian students. We've been utilizing that privilege, and of course, when
Mr. Abubakar spoke about that, I'm talking about your local program. Localize your program to University of KwaZulu Natal. What programs do you have?
Aside this, we also organize Independence Day program, and it's also forthcoming. Like on the 30th of September, we have a novelty match between UKZ and Nigerian student team, and the Mikasa team. I know you're going to tell me to say the full meaning of
what
Mikasa.
Is Mikasa?
Okay. Nigerian Citizens Association in SA, I guess.
Okay, so after the independence program, what other programs do you have?
Yeah,
and how are you going to communicate, and how do you relate
because
to
that
them?
Independence Day program, because it's not just about celebration. We also have colloquium where we bring speakers to talk about what next, because most of the students in the UKZN are postgraduate students. So we are talking about what next after postgraduate, because some people might be stuck between going back home and staying here and not knowing what to do. So aside that, we also want to organize a particular program where we will involve the national body, and of course, probably the
President Abisoye, in all this, where are the Nigerian lecturers in UKZN? Because they are your best resources. Okay, let me come. It doesn't seem as if there's a really. Let me come to Professor Chima. Prof,
okay.
You've heard your students on the way they manage the Nigerian affairs, student affairs in University of KwaZulu Natal. Perhaps you want to shed some light, and you said you've lectured in UKZN for 15 years. What has been your experience in terms of relating with Nigerian students all through the times that you have been a lecturer in UKZN?
Okay, yeah, let me start from the first question you asked. How students get admitted to the university. Now, all international students are expected to have their qualification. If it's not a South African qualification, it has to be evaluated by SAQA, South African Qualifications Authority. So that's the first thing you have to do. So once you have got your credentials evaluated and received an evaluation, decide on what institution you want to apply to. If it's a postgraduate, because there are several levels of postgraduate, starting from, if you have a 4-year qualification from Nigeria, for example, you will need an honors degree in most South African institutions, which means that you have to do a 5th year. An honors degree takes about another 1 year. So you can be applying for an honors. After the honors, then you apply for masters, or you can apply, or if you have a master's, then you can apply for a PhD. Now, regardless of which level you're applying for, you must have your credentials evaluated. And now for the PhD or master's level, it's much easier if you go and try to identify who you think may be a potential supervisor in the department or a program that you are interested in studying, because not all universities have all the programs. So sometimes, for example, we're talking about UKZN, UKZN may not have the program, so you might decide to go to University of Johannesburg or University of Cape Town or University of Free State in Bloemfontein. So you, depending on what you want to specialize in, you have to apply to that particular, find somebody who's knowledgeable in that area. The easiest way is to do check the Google Scholar or check their publications and see whether they are working in the same area, and then write to them. Now, after writing to the individual that you want to be, they will send you an application form. The university, every university has an application form which you have to fill in and submit together with an application fee. There is always an application fee. It's not extensive. There is a special application fee for African students, different from people from overseas, from Europe and USA. Now, after that, then if you are at master's or PhD level, you will be accepted and with your nominated supervisor who has agreed to supervise you in that project. Now, in terms of, now I'm coming to the question that you're asking because I'm trying to link it up. This is how it works. In terms of student, your supervisor had both pastoral and academic care of every individual student. So it's part of the work of a supervisor to make sure that the student is protected both academically and also advice in terms of, of their personal circumstance. So this is one of the work of supervisors. Now, associations like the Nigerian Students is a supernumerary association because the university has policies for students. There's a student handbook for which each student is given when they are admitted, which shows what students are expected and things like that. That student handbook doesn't differentiate on your, of your nationality or your state of origin or where you come from or anything like that. It's for universal student handbook, which is applicable to all students admitted to each university. Now, your communication between a student, especially postgraduate student, is between the supervisor and the student. So the supervisor is your first port of call when you have any problems, regardless, it could be financial problems, it could be other problems, even your visa problems you're talking about. First of all, you have to talk to your supervisor. I said, this is what I'm having, because they have even though they are not interfering, they will refer you to the appropriate authority that will help you to, within the, there's the University International Office. Every university has an international office, and there are people there who help to resolve some of these issues. So these are some of the things. That's the point of contact that you have. Now, the Students Association is a cultural association, yes, recognized by the university like other student organizations, but it's a cultural organization which the students are used to, how will I say, maintain contact with their countries of origin. There will be Zimbabwean Students Association, there will be Nigerian Students Association, there will be Ghana Students Association and things like that. So their function is not really tied up to the university. Now, how do you relate, how do you associate with Nigerian lecturers? Like I said, the work of the lecturer here, we supervise a lot of students. We supervise Zimbabwean students, Ugandan students, Nigerian students inclusive. So we're not only focused on Nigerian students, we focus on all our students, okay? So that one of the ways is the NANSSA, which used to be the Nigerian Union, where you could, if you want to, interact as Nigerians, then that will be, you get in touch with the people in charge of NANSSA, and they will be able to, they will know more about the students at EDUD, for example, than you do, because many students contact them for assistance, because that's the way they keep in touch with home, with Nigeria. So now, in terms of interacting with students, like I said, there is no direct communication with a student because you're a Nigerian. You don't get directed to a lecturer simply because you're a Nigerian. You get directed to your supervisor, and your supervisor is supposed to assist you with everything else that's, concerning your studies, as well as some of the social issues you may encounter. Sometimes it's financial, and it's not only limited to Nigerian students. Your supervisor will be able to sometimes advise you on how to sort that out. Now, about your study permit, again, the first person you need to contact, because your supervisor has to write a letter sometimes for you, or send it to the international office. You need to discuss this with your supervisor. So we don't accept this Nigerian student. I have supervised a few Nigerian students. I have some Nigerian students I'm supervising. I have Ghanaian students. I have people from Cameroon. You don't really try to, seek out Nigerian students because that's a cultural value, something that you have to do at, like I say, at a NICASA level or outside of campus, or if you meet socio-culturally, that's a different issue. Now, but students are free.
Prof, I wanted to ask, is there any
Yes,
kind
go
of
ahead.
informal, yes, I get the point of
Yes.
the very formal relationship, but is there any kind of informal forum that for interaction between Nigerian students and the Nigerian lecturers, or is just outrightly formal?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not only formal with Nigerian students. It's formal between supervisor and student supervisor communication, because you sign a memorandum of understanding with your supervisor, and then they take care of everything else, both academic and social. It's called pastoral care. Now, like I've said, we have to, maybe we have not been doing it more effectively. Okay, there has to be a much more, how will I say, where students try to reach out and, to reach out to their lecturers, so the Nigerian lecturers, to assist with some of the problems they might be experiencing. Now, the cultural association that deals with this is, at the present time, is NICASA, Nigerian, the new, which replaced the Nigerian Union. So that will be, the people who will be able to bring together both lecturers and the students, the Nigerian community, so that they can better get to know each other. Exactly. That's let's say, going forward, because the system does not recognize you as a Nigerian, recognizes as a postgraduate student doing this, and this is your supervisor, but it doesn't recognize your nationality is not important to be like that.
Okay, but
exactly.
if for instance, President Abisoye, now she's meeting you, she said she hardly knows most Nigerian lecturers, but she has met you. If she comes to you tomorrow as the president of the Nigerian students and desire to have a non-formal interactive relationship with you, where you could also serve as a counselor. Yes, we understand that the supervisor is the first point of resource in terms of counseling and guide and all that, but there might still be that nationalist sentiments that they want to speak to there's somebody from their country who might counsel them and advise them on the way to go in whatever challenges that they may meet while studying, either in academics or outside academics. Will you be receptive to such an initiative from the Nigerian Student Association?
Yes, this is the part of our work. We attend to every student, regardless of your nationality. If a student approaches you for advice, obviously you say, of course, it's more easier if the students have to do the reaching out. Let me put it that way. The students have to do the reaching out to, try and connect with the lecturers, because there are certain rules in academia. So we cannot just exactly. So that makes lecturers reticent. If you're not my student and you're not exactly, so it could be it could be misinterpreted. Nigeria, South Africa is a little bit different from Nigeria. In other words, there are laws. There are laws about personal, protection, privacy protection. There are laws about harassment, sexual harassment. There are laws about, things like that. So however, that's notwithstanding, if a student who is a Nigerian has any problem with a Nigerian, with any problem concerning their life or their education or their studies, and they seek advice, I mean, I've had many students walk into my office and knock and introduce themselves, and I've helped many of them. When I was at medical school, when our office of medical, they would just come in. They would hear that I'm there, and they would pop in, knock on the door, introduce themselves, and we'll chat. So I got to know many of them like that. So the student you need to reach out to the lecturers, okay, to introduce yourself and tell them about this thing and interact with with Nigerian lecturers. That way that we build a relationship. It's not easy for a lecturer to come down because there are rules, okay, that guide how, or that how will I say, that guide how students interact with lecturers, exactly, with students. Therefore, it's much easier for the students to reach out. But I'm sure any Nigerian lecturer who's approached by any Nigerian student will be willing to discuss anything, including both how to deal with your studies or how to deal with any other cultural issues you may be having. Exactly.
Okay. Apparently, I got to meet you outside the campus, even though we're the same campus, our campus also, but until we met at a dinner where the Nigerian ambassador to South Africa was attending. That was when I met you formally. So
no, I've been, for example, I've been to Pinetown. I was just walking today. I remember going to the postgraduate common room one day and met 2 or 3 Nigerians in Abisoye. Maybe they have graduated, but there are a lot of if you go to the postgraduate common room, invariably you meet a Nigerian student there. They're there. I don't know whether you use it and things like that. There are quite a few Nigerian students at Edgewood.
I used to almost sleep in the common room, the postgraduate common room when I was doing my PhD.
Exactly.
So Prof, I also wanted to find out, is there a forum for Nigerian lecturers in South Africa? There are quite numbers of universities in South Africa and Nigerian lecturers also in these various universities. Is there a forum where Nigerian lecturers, irrespective of the school that they belong to, interact, even if it's not for academic purposes, but for cultural purposes, for community purposes?
No, I have not. I don't know of any formal forum. Most of the meetings between lecturers or Nigerian lecturers or Nigerian academics, both here and in other countries close by, is usually informal because one of the things is that most people got to South Africa through different channels. Some of them are hired internationally, some of them are hired from Nigeria. So people come, they don't necessarily have an association like similar to ANSU or something like that. Okay, that I got it. So the best forum for Nigerian lecturers to interact will be to join the Cultural Association or the Nigerian Union or NANSSA, which has replaced the Nigerian Union at this present time. And that's the easiest way for Nigerian lecturers or academics to interact with each other. We are more likely to know our postgraduate students who have come to us for assistance or who are in the same university than actually sometimes to know other lecturers because people are busy doing their own thing. Exactly. So maybe it's something to be explored in the future.
Yeah, I think so.
If we get enough numbers, but there's no formal structure at the present.
From your experience and your being in South Africa, you probably will guess that there are close to 100 Nigerian lecturers in South Africa.
There could be more. There probably could be more, but it's not only lecturers. There are also many doctors. There are many. There has to be. Exactly. So I think it's going to be easier if we have it. If we are to create such a forum, it would be a forum for Nigerian professionals in South Africa because there's way more than those who are lecturing, and more are coming in every day. So that is where we are.
So there's a quorum. So perhaps NANSSA might also think of having a wing of NANSSA that will deal with a forum for professionals, which will combine of medical doctors, engineers, lecturers, and
I think that would be an excellent idea so that the lecturers can link up with each other. And actually, there are benefits to that. Benefits for lecturers, benefits for student sharing, communicating projects, and things like that. That's more experienced or more advanced lecturers can help with the younger ones and things like that. So it would be an important or an interesting forum if that can be.
Yes, organized. And also for mentoring the younger lecturers that are coming up.
Precisely.
At least for an emerging researcher like me, I probably would do well with that kind of mentorship. But yes. I wanted to also find out, Prof, is there any deliberate initiative from the Nigerian High Commission to relate with Nigerian lecturers in South Africa that you know of? Is there any that you know of?
No, I'm not aware. Again, I wouldn't say that they need to relate to Nigerian lecturers as a specific body. I think they need to relate, if they have to relate, they have to relate to Nigerian professional, exactly.
Is there any initiative like that you're aware of?
No, I'm not aware of any at this present time. That's this thing. We all interact with the consulate or the embassy on an individual level. So if we are to do what we are proposing to do, then if we come together under a wing of NICASA, for example, if we're able to form that, then there could be a formal affiliation or or contact with the embassy or with the High Commission in order to create a channel that will assist both lecturers and when we're talking about lecturers, I know we're talking about students here. Don't forget that when lecturers are well advised, they can better advise the junior ones. When you're talking about junior lecturers, includes people who are doing PhD. They're also lecturing and they also have, some of this thing, and they have to be mentored exactly, which is what we do towards becoming senior lecturers or becoming lecturers and so on.
Part of the community.
So we have to create that channel in the future.
I'll assure you, Prof, there are some NICASA people that are listening to this program, and they can always hook up to this program to get these ideas we've discussed, and maybe they can reach out to you also to help in articulating a wing of NICASA that will deal specifically with professionals. Thanks, Prof. I'll come back to you, Prof. I just quickly to Mr. Abubakar. You've listened to Prof. Yes. And one begins to wonder, what kind of relationship does NANSSA have with NICASA? That is, do you know what NICASA is, right?
Of course. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I work hand in hand with the NICASA president, because all issues relating to students, it directs all of them to the National Association of Nigerian Students, including every directive from the Nigerian High Commission. It passes all the information to the National Association of Nigerian Students. So we work hand in hand to make sure that we collectively cater efficiently for Nigerian students and Nigerians at large in South Africa.
Okay, so how do you motivate your various presidents in different campuses to take the initiative of also making contacts with Nigerian lecturers? That's from the discussion I had with Prof. What kind of motivation do you give to Abisoye, for instance, to make deliberate contact with Nigerian lecturers?
Okay, the first thing my administration did, because we just started about 2 months in office, is to direct our Director of Welfare to contact each institutional leaders to find out the challenges that they are facing in their various institutions. So what NANSSA is doing to bring students closer to the Nigerian lecturers, one of our initiatives is we believe that it's time we celebrate our professionals, especially our lecturers and our students who have performed well. So this is an idea that brings Nigerians together and make the student know who their lecturers are. So in a situation whereby we need to recommend such students to those lecturers, we will do so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Abubakar, you can continue.
Oh, okay. So what we do, we try to ensure robust communication with our institutional leaders, because we as a national body, we are not planted at the institution. So our institutional leaders are the ones who relate to us and give us the challenges students are facing. But the initiatives we have created as a national body is to create a program called NANSSA Award of Excellence, of which we are trying to partner with with the Nigerian consulates, which we discussed earlier this week when I met with the Consul General. So the NANSSA Award of Excellence it will be an opportunity for us to celebrate our lecturers, just like Prof and other Nigerian professionals who have done outstanding well in a way, like who have contributed in one form or the other in bettering Nigeria, in branding the name Nigeria, and also contributing to the lives of Nigerian students at large. So NANSSA Award of
This award, will it be
is a way
focused
of
on
us bringing
students
both Nigerian
or
lecturers.
Nigerian residents in South Africa, or both?
You mean the
program, the Award of Excellence?
No, the Award of Excellence, it incorporates the Nigerian professionals who have done excellently well in their various fields, Nigerian students who have done excellently well, Nigerian businesses who have done
okay, my next question is that how are you going to evaluate this excellence before you give this award? being a student body yourself, how are you going to evaluate professionals outside the student community?
No, the first thing we need to do is, like I said, is to obnob with our leaders at various institutions, so we can identify who and who. Just so, like I said, is in partnership with our missions. So you get us. So they recommend. We give a platform of recommendation. So when you recommend someone, we investigate into what that person or that prof or professional has done in a way of branding the image of Nigeria, or in a way of assisting the development of Nigerian students in South Africa. If for example, in the terms of Nigerian students, we look at their achievement in terms of achievement in various institutions. So we cannot do this on our own. That is why we work closely with our institutional leaders to ensure that we don't make ensure efficiency in what we're trying to do.
Okay. You want to talk about what kind of policy do you have that will encourage Nigerian students and all the associations in different universities to interact with other nationals and also the host community being South African students? That's on one hand. And then what kind of population of Nigerian students do we have in South Africa? If you have an idea.
Population? You mean the population of Nigerian students we have in South Africa?
Yes, yes, collectively.
No, you mean the you want to know
an estimate
of Nigerian students?
Yes, if you have that information.
We have roughly 10,000 Nigerian students in the Republic of South Africa currently.
When you say 10,000, are you talking of university students, or you're talking of secondary, primary, nursery
in total, statistically, the record we have, the documented Nigerian students that we have, is over 8,000. These are the ones that have identified themselves. So when I say roughly 10,000, we have more who have not identified themselves. So hence we are trying to ensure we reach out to them.
It's quite a huge community. So what kind of programs do you have in place of interaction with the host community and other international students?
With the host community? So
yes, what kind of programs do you have in place to relate with the host community and other international students?
Okay, so basically what we do is we create an avenue of interaction between both the Nigerian student, the South African students, and every other national. Hence our public relation officer, if you really look at we have platforms of which we broadcast those things. So he's organizing a sport event. This sport event is meant to bring both Nigeria, South Africa, and every other international student together to participate. This is a way of us bringing ourselves to other international students and working together with all other international students, both the host nation.
Okay, Abisoye, you've listened to Mr. Abubakar. In UKZN, what kind of program do you have? I know that you said, you keep saying that I just took over, but what kind of program do you have in place, or you are planning to put in place to interact with the South African students and also the Nigerian and other international students also?
Okay, for instance, like I said earlier, we have the novelty march, which will come up on the 30th of September. And since it's going to be in the school, it's going to hold in Westview campus. And of course, we have Nigerian students who will be there. We have South Africans who will be there, and every other national who would also attend the event. Is an event. And of course, the march is between UKZ and Nigerian students and NANSSA. And of course, the friends of NANSSA can come to support the team. Friends of we Nigerian students are also there to support us. So
why didn't you play the South African team, or play Zimbabwe, or play Liberians, or play Ugandan or Ghanaian?
Let me burst the bubbles. Permit me to say this. Even our own team has some non-Nigerians there, because we want to incorporate them into being part of it. It's not just about Nigeria. Yeah, it's Nigerian thing, because it's part of our Independence Day celebration. But because of the fact that most of our team members are outside South Africa, So we didn't have any other choice than to incorporate other people from different countries to join our team. So that is it. So we have people who are not Nigerians who will be joining us on the field that day to support us to also play alongside with NANSSA. And we also have the friends of NANSSA who will also be there. So it's an avenue for us to also meet with people, even after the football match.
Integration.
Yeah, we can also talk about things about South Africa. We have time to discuss. That's why the match is going to hold by 3 p.m. It's just an hour match. Then afterwards, we'll have time to talk. We'll have time to.
I'll come to the programs. I'll come to the programs that you have. So I just want you to quickly address two issues. One, you listened to Professor Chima, who said that the students will have to be the one that will reach out to them. And you had said initially that you hardly know any Nigerian lecturer, but now a Nigerian lecturer is saying that you have to reach out to them. So what will you be doing going forward in reaching out to these Nigerian lecturers in maybe the postgraduate, postdoctoral fellows also in your school? That's one. Then two, you say you have an independence program coming up. Do you want to tell us about this program?
Yes, I will talk about that. Okay, first thing first, since Dr. Chima said, Professor Chima. Yeah, sorry, I beg your pardon, sorry. Professor Chima said that the students have to come to him or to the lecturers. Lecturers don't need to go and meet students because of some laws and some policies. So going forward, since I have my executives in different campuses, I would, of course, tell them to make probably investigate or to get to know the lecturers on their own campuses. Then of course I'll also make that same move on Edgewood to know the lecturers, and we'll pay
only
them
Edgewood?
as
what about Howard,
as an
Westview, PMB?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
even the medical school, Nelson Mandela Medical School.
My executive one is in PMB, the other one is in Westview. And of course, Westview Medical School is very close to themselves. So we obviously go to Howard College. We have a past executive in Howard who is Dr. I always call him Doctor. His name is Abaya Mimodukwe. He used to be the general secretary of the association. So he's on Howard College and studying there at the moment. He's still there. So we would also tell, I don't know why I call him Doctor. We'll tell him to meet the lecturers on Howard College, and we get names of lecturers.
Okay, quickly tell us about the program that you have for the independence. And then after that, Mr. Abubakar also tell us, we have like about 10 minutes to go, and I still we need to get to Professor Chima. So after you, Mr. Abubakar will also tell us if there is a program from NANSSA for the Nigerian independence that is coming maybe next week or in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Akpan. The Independence Day program will kickstart on the 30th of September with a novelty matrix that said between the Nigerian students in UKZN and NANSSA, which is the National Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa. And then that is for the 30th of September, while the 1st of October, which is our Independence Day, is we organize a colloquium where we have speakers who talk to us about career, about what next after postgraduate, what kind of career path can you decide to choose after your PhD or your master's or what have you that you do. Because like I said earlier, 98% of students in UKZN are postgraduate students, and not just postgraduate students, they are PhD students. So what next after PhD? Do you want to go back home? Do you want to continue? Do you want to start your postdoc? What are the processes? How can you apply for a postdoc? What are the, like every information necessary or needed for a student that wants to forge ahead with a career path in academics will be discussed on that day. And of course, after that discussion, we have fun together, we'll meet ourselves, we talk about our issues, want to know them, want to know ourselves. Let us talk heart to heart. Let us rub minds together. What are the things it's not just about passport or visa, which I'm aware of. Some people might be going through psychological issues, personal issues, or
especially the PhD students. It's a lot of mental challenges.
Road, you know. So we want to know them, want them to know us. Let us know how we can be of help to these people. So that is what the program is about. It's not just about talking and talking. We want to know ourselves and how to solve our problems.
To support one another.
Yeah, to support.
Yeah, it's important that you have a forum where you can also encourage, particularly the PhD students. It's quite a grueling experience to go through. And you need to manage your mental health. Mr. Abubakar, do you have any program for the Independence Day?
Thank you, Dr. James. NANSSA's calendar on October 1st is always open. Reason being that October 1st, our missions celebrate the Independence Day, and our leaders of various institutions also celebrate the Independence Day. So because of that, we usually leave the calendar open so that we can support our institutions, our various institutions, and our missions. So as NANSSA, we spread ourselves across the various institutions, and some of us we represent ourselves at the mission also to celebrate the October 1st. So our calendars are always open on the Independence Day for that reason.
Okay, Abisoye, just a quick one. Do you know the NANSSA representative in the University of Kwazulu Natal?
Yeah. He's the vice president.
Are you sure?
His name is Razak Abdulrahman. President.
You know him?
Yeah, of course I do. Because I know him based on, aside the fact that he's the vice president, he's also the president of International Student Association for Westview. I am also the International Student Association PRO for Edgewood College, Edgewood campus. So we have meetings with international office time to
So there's a forum of interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Professor Chima is still on. Okay, I'm told Professor Chima is not on. I wanted him to have a final word before we close, but I'll just leave Mr. Abubakar and also Ms. Adeyiga to have the final word. To both of you, would you advise Nigerian who wants to further their study to come to South Africa? Let the lady go first.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Akpan. Of course, I will. South Africa is a good country, and the education system is, permit me to use this word, is dope. So yes,
What is dope?
It's nice. It's the best. Is the bomb, like the bomb. It's the bomb. So you understand. So it's cool, you know, and the environment is sane. You have the facilities in the university, you have access to internet, you have everything you need. You have good supervisors who have listening ears, you know, like Dr. James, Professor James and Professor Chima said that the supervisors are not just there for academic purposes. That they're not just there for academic purposes, they're also there to interact with students based on their own personal challenges and everything. So the supervisors are there, and schools, like for instance, UKZN is good. Is a good.
Yeah, I know.
School.
Before you start to market your school as the best in the world, I'll quickly go to Mr. Abubakar, who is from University of Johannesburg and might get a bit jealous when you begin to talk about UKZN. So would you advise Nigerians to further their studies in South Africa? Mr. Abubakar, you need to unmute yourself.
Firstly, I would like to say that the University of Johannesburg has been promoted to #2 in South Africa. So which means our programs are excellent. So for that reason, I would recommend any Nigerian student who wants to study in South Africa to look at the University of Johannesburg.
I was asking about, I'm not asking for promotion
so
of school. I'm asking for, would you advise Nigerians to further their studies in South Africa?
I'm going to that, yes. South Africa is an excellent place for education. I did my undergraduate study here and I'm doing my postgrad here. So 98% of Nigerian students studying in South Africa are studying on bursary. So why wouldn't I advise them to come study here and utilize the opportunity to advance themselves? So yes, I recommend it.
Okay, great. I wanted to ask Professor Chima to make some level of comparison, but like he had also considered to me that he will have a one-on-one interview with me so we can explore that further. Let me quickly say to the benefit of our viewers that if you look at the ranking of African universities, South African universities dominate the first 10. In fact, from 1 to 10, you probably might have about 7, 8 South African universities, and even in the global ranking, they are also there. And there are very good universities in South Africa, from University of Kwazulu Natal to University of Cape Town, University of Stellenbosch, University of Johannesburg, University of Pretoria, and University of Witwatersrand, Free State. Quite a number of universities in South Africa that are doing very well. Excellent facilities for research in any of your chosen field, either in humanities, in STEM, or in life sciences, and whatever it is that you want to do. And excellent international, they have an array of international lecturers from Europe, from South Africa, from other African countries. So it's a place to also, it's a certificate that is internationally recognized, and the standard of education in South Africa is quite high. And so viewers, in case you are interested, or I should say that you should be thinking in that direction if you are in the line of furthering your education and you're not able to go to United States of America or go to UK or Canada or Australia. The South African educational system is at the same level with those schools also. Excellent programs and lecturers and facilities for you to be what you want to be. So you've listened to the lecturer and also the students as a roadmap and a guide for you to apply if you want to apply. And we can only wish you well in case you are looking at this direction. And let me quickly appreciate my panelists that came. Professor Chima sadly has left us. I hope it's not a technical problem. Okay, but for the president of University of Student Union of President of University of Kwazulu Natal, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you well in your Nigerian independence program. And also to Mr. Abubakar, we say congratulations on your new election. And also we wish your tenure well, and as you coordinate the Nigerian students. And we'll have to call you back again to discuss as issues arise, especially the cultural integration with the host community. But we say thank you very much. And please respond to us when you call you again. Now, until we come your way next time with another edition of Akpan's Diary on HTV, my name is Dr. James Akpan. I say stay well and God bless.
In this age and times comes great ideas, sweet memories,
New techniques.
untold stories about Africa and the world at large. Guess what? The new age brings on board a brand name in broadcasting technology.
Introducing
Age Television.
At Age Television, we serve you with professionalism
In news and event coverage,
live streaming, documentaries,
artist management,
video and photography.
social media management, and lots more.
For inquiries, call us on +27 061 773 9628.
Or 027 064 543 0136.
You can also send us WhatsApp messages on 078 229 4593.
YouTube, HTV/Durban. Tweet us at HTV Durban.
Facebook at HTV Durban.
Instagram at HTV.Durban.
Email us at htvdurban@gmail.com.
Visit our website on www.htv.co.za. Age Television, celebrating the uncelebrated.
Ooh, I'm